Day 2 of the Big Ten men's basketball tournament on BTN. Great start to our day with a matchup between Michigan and Illinois. Both teams need this win for different reasons, and we'll get into that as we move on through the broadcast. Our Buffalo Wild Wings starting lineup for Michigan. We talked about Irvin. We talked about Dawkins. How about Max Bielfeldt making his second start?
Well, here's the thing. It opens up a lot inside for Max Bielfeldt to be effective when you're knocking down jump shots, and he's doing a really good job of rebounding ball also.
Meanwhile, on the Fighting Illini side, trying to win their way for sure into an NCAA tournament, their Buffalo Wild Wings starting lineup. Ahmad Starks starting and has been playing well. He's been playing well, again, knocking down jump shots. That was the key for Ahmad coming into the season. As of late, really confident from behind the three-point line. Well, Jim, what's our principal financial group edge to the game? Well, for Michigan, you know, it's all about knocking down shots. And you see this 58% in the first half of field goals, because I think it takes the pressure off of trying to figure out how to score. And the Illini, it's getting Malcolm Hill, and Kendrick Nunn back on track. These young men provided the spark when Rayvonte Rice was out. And Kevin, it's always difficult to reinsert a player of the stature of Rayvonte Rice who needs the ball in his hands. And Rayvonte Rice has been getting better and better and better over the last 4 games. Meanwhile, those guys have struggled a little bit in that same time span. Always fiery John Groce, the head coach of the Illinois Fighting Illini in his 3rd season. He knows what's at stake for his team in this game, and his kids ready to go out and put on a good show for us here today at the United Center. Meanwhile, for the Michigan Wolverines, they're trying to lock up what they hope will be an NIT bid. With a win today, they'd certainly take a step in that direction. And John Beilein already with the jacket off. It's getting serious now on the sidelines for the head coach of Michigan. Well, both teams have a lot to play for. Illinois, it's a tough situation in regards to where they're at. You have to play a tough Michigan team. Maybe face a Wisconsin team, but is an opportunity that if you can do that, you can stamp your own ticket to the NCAA tournament. Good officiating crew on hand for this one. Nnanna Egwu and Max Bielfeldt ready to jump it up. Day 2 of the Big Ten men's basketball tournament about to get underway here in Chicago. We're thrilled to have you alongside on BTN. Illinois is going to control the tip, and Ahmad Starks, almost 10 points per game over the last 9 games. Kevin Kugler, Jim Jackson. We'll hear from Mike Hall coming up in just a little bit. He'll join us throughout the show from Chicago today. Kevin, you were talking about Ahmad Starks. It's not just his shooting, but also his decision-making, running the team has also improved. Rayvonte Rice. Won't go. Bielfeldt with the rebound. But that's the kind of ball movement early on that I think bodes well for the Illini. Good shot in the corner for Starks. Good movement inside and a blocked shot as Bielfeldt had a good look, but Illinois rejects. And now Rayvonte Rice, the quick 3. And the air ball out of bounds off Michigan. It'll stay with Illinois. Well, the reaction right here by Kendrick Nunn is exceptional, but Bielfeldt has to be able to gather a lot quicker and get up a lot faster, because these guards for the Illini will react quickly, as we just saw. Rice into the paint. Jumpers out of the way, but he could not get the shot to fall, and Zach Irvin will push for Michigan. Aubrey Dawkins with the 3, and Rice the rebound. Premium from the Illini to get back in transition. As you see, Michigan loves to exploit a 3-point shot early in their offensive set. Nnanna Egwu trying to back Bielfeldt down. Left the hook well short. Dawkins the rebound. Both teams struggling early to find a rhythm. Michigan 0 for 3, Illinois 0 for 4. Well, sometimes the early games kind of throw you off a little bit. The rhythm offensively, the sweat is not there yet, but give them a minute. I'm sure they'll find their rhythm. How much do the stakes in this game involve in being tight early? Both teams know that they need a win to continue their postseason berth where they want it to go, as Aubrey Dawkins gets the 2. Well, that helps when you get a layup backdoor, and that's, you know, one of the advantages when you shoot a lot of 3-point shots. That backdoor opportunity is there. But again, a lot is on the line. We talked about it, Kevin, for both teams, and for the Illini being kind of on the bubble, it's a little bit more pressure because you play to say, hey, listen, you want to get back in the NCAA tournament. Rice driving to the rim, and he gets it to go.
such a strong body. You know, Spike Alberg, I love him to death, but right there, just a mismatch and no help came. And that's the beauty of having Rayvonte Rice, because he's a guy that can really break down your defense and finish inside.
Foul away from the ball. Nnanna Egwu getting tangled up.
Well, again,
Hill with the foul.
But look at Nnanna Egwu. His arms are down by his waist, so now, even if when Dawkins is open, you have to put pressure on the passer and help your teammate out. That time, excellent play by Michigan, but not really good defense by the Illini.
Rahman. Dawkins coming off a huge game against Rutgers. 31 points for the freshman. The three for Irvin is good, and Zach Irvin gives Michigan the early lead.
And I love how he squared up and looked at Egwu's feet, knowing that he gave him enough space to pull up for the jump shot.
Double dribble, and the turnover back to Michigan. First turnover for Illinois. They're trying to bounce back from that difficult loss to Purdue. Had a 13-point lead in that game, and wants to go away.
On the road, you had control of the game, but couldn't stop the run by the Boilermakers. It is disappointing.
Back out to Dawkins, had a toe on the line. It's a 2, and Aubrey Dawkins with a 7-2 start for Michigan.
It's amazing as a player when the light just clicks, Kevin. You don't know when it's going to come or when it's going to happen. We saw some flashes from Aubrey, but being able to back-to-back games in your career high, the confidence that he has and his teammates has is just exciting to watch.
Kendrick Nunn through the contact from Irvin, and Bielfeldt the rebound.
What you see from Illinois early on, a lot more one-on-one instead of moving the ball around.
Good play by Starks to throw off the Albrecht drive. $15 to shoot for Michigan. Nunn right on top of Dawkins there. 7 on the shot clock for Irvin. Abdul-Rahman around the Bielfeldt screen with the 2.
Kevin, I love the patience that time by Michigan. A lot of times you want to rush at the end of the shot clock, and I thought Rahman did an outstanding job of using the pick and getting to a spot to get a shot.
From the elbow, Hill's jumper won't go, and a rebound for Irvin. Good start now for Michigan on a 7-0 run. And that's a foul on Rayvonte Rice, and a timeout on the floor. Michigan scoring from all over the floor with a lot of different folks, including Muhammad Ali Abdul-Rahman with the deep 2 to give the Wolverines the 7-point lead. Welcome in the third member of our crew, the always affable Mike Hall.
That's debatable. Kev, you mentioned at the top of the broadcast the fact this is a Michigan team that's been fighting injuries. Paris LeVert, this is the 13th game he's not playing. For Derek Walton, it's his 11th. Now, we know LeVert is done for the year, but Walton, there's still a possibility that he could play. But I talked to John Beilein before the game. He said, don't expect it. The soreness is just too much. That being said, he was warming up. It's just not likely we're going to see him today.
Exactly right. And I spoke with Derek Walton before the game, and he just gave me that look like it's still a little bit of pain there. And you got to think about the future in regards to not just now, but ensuring that that injury heals correctly.
And it's not an injury that's going to require anything other than rest to get better. It's basically put your feet up and watch the NCAA tournament. There's not a bad prescription to get if you can get that from your doctor. Irvin rotates around. Abdul-Rahman for 3 in Michigan. Red hot after a cold start. They've hit 5 of 8 from the floor.
Well, by placing Zach Irvin in the post, now you have a legitimate threat to score. So you give a little bit of help, and now the release, the ball moving around the perimeter opens up the jump shot for Rahman. Excellent offense and patience that time by the Wolverines.
Floater missing everything. The rebound for Michigan.
And you just don't see a rhythm right now with the Illini on offensive end. And opposite right here with Michigan, everything is just free-flowing.
A timeout taken by Illinois. A 12-0 Michigan run. They've opened up a 14-2 lead.
The Motors Insurance Group protects what you love and provides security when you need it most. Motors Group of companies and independent agents in Big Ten country offer quality products backed by unparalleled claim service to protect your home, autos, business, and life. And because they have policyholders and not shareholders, serving your best interest is their only focus. This is Jim Jackson. Defend your peace of mind with a championship team. The Motors Insurance Group. You know us. Member of the National Association of Mutual Insurance Companies.
Michigan 14, Illinois 2. Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman averaging just 6 points per game in the conference season, but not a bad start today.
Well, he's shown flashes that he can score the basketball. Right here, just patience and spacing and confidence to shoot the ball, but also the ability for him to seek out openings and gaps and get to the basket and then finish through contact. Again, this Michigan team, because there's no pressure in regards to NCAA implications, just seems to be playing more fluid, more loose, and as a result, they're up 14-2.
Jalen Tate on the floor now for Illinois, along with LeRon Black. The three for Kendrick Nunn. Black with the offensive rebound and the putback. That's what he does, cleans the glass.
And that's the kind of energy and effort you need right now. When you're struggling to get some points, now you need a guy that's going to come in and get you those hustle baskets. And Black, right on time, impacts the game with an offensive rebound.
Bielfeldt against Egwu. The fadeaway, that's a tough shot for Bielfeldt.
You kind of bail Egwu out by fading away, and that's the kind of shot that he wants you to take. But you got to respect the shot blocking ability as well.
Nunn the step back on the baseline. Sweet shot from Kendrick Nunn.
Well, at that time, understanding that he had space, but what hurts the Illini at times when you don't have an inside presence, everything comes from the perimeter. So you have to figure out ways. I think it's going to be important that the Illini can create some opportunities to get out and run in transition as well.
15 to shoot for Michigan. On the switch, working against Egwu, and that's out of bounds, a turnover for Michigan. Not a surprise to see Illinois start to shrink this gap because the last three meetings have been tight, tight, tight.
Well, you think about the teams that Michigan had in place, of course, you know, with some future NBA players on those teams, but you know, you would think that the Illini, with what's at stake, would have come out and been more aggressive, but let's see if they can find the rhythm.
There's Black off the pass from Egwu. Egwu with the offensive rebound, the putback, and the foul. Bielfeldt with the personal. That's his first as Ricky Doyle checks in for Michigan.
Well, I talked about it at the top. The ability for the Illini to take advantage of their offensive rebound. Can Michigan, not having the size and the strength inside, keep the Illini off the board? In 2 plays back-to-back, they're able to get something inside, advantage to the Illini. That's one way that I think you can, as you see right now, get back in this game.
And since the timeout called by John Groce, a 7-0 Illinois run, they're right back in it, down just 5.
And those are effort points. I mean, it's about not giving up, not allowing your defender to block you out and put a body on you.
Well, pressure applied now by Illinois. Austin Colbert off the Illinois bench. Albrecht with 18 to shoot. Albrecht from the foul line. And the rebound to Illinois.
Excellent block out that time by Illini.
Kendrick Nunn back out to Colbert. And taken away. Dawkins with a steal. Motoring to the other end. Dawkins all the way to the rim, but it cannot get the roll.
Everything was perfect that time by Dawkins. The anticipation, the play, but not the finish.
Great job, Aubrey.
And now LeRon Black in the paint. Tough shot. LeRon Black has 4 off the bench.
But that was too easy. That time, Zach Irvin, I know you mismatched, but you have to take away that quick dribble to the middle. That time, it was an easy one dribble up and over. Height advantage to Black.
9-0 run for Illinois to close to within 3. Urban around the Doyle screen. Back to Doyle he goes, and the foul is going to be called on Jalen Tate, and a timeout on the floor. Illinois on a 9-0 run. Michigan hasn't scored in over 2.5 minutes. The march to Indianapolis is on, and BTN covers it all. Game previews, interviews, and complete post-game analysis of each matchup. Big Ten basketball and beyond. Every night, all postseason long, starting next Thursday only on BTN. Rayvonte Rice trying to find his rhythm early.
Yeah, only 1 for 3 this afternoon, but you know, looking for opportunities. As a player, you wish you could turn that switch back on where if you miss game, just come back in and be right where you left off, but it's not that easy. I mean, the rhythm is gone, the timing is gone. The team has kind of figured some things out. So against Northwestern, 14 points. Against Nebraska, 11, but the last game against Purdue, kind of not there. So still trying to figure out where his game fits in with what the improved Illini were able to do.
Cameron Chapman off the bench, airballs the 3, and then a foul on Ricky Doyle as LaRon Black grabs the rebound. We've talked about the importance of this game for Illinois, and down at the bottom where you see the palm projection, they've got to get a win because the bubble is not a good place to live.
But the Michigan game doesn't help. Okay, it hurts when you lose, but it's not going to get you the win you need. The win you need is the next round against the reigning Big Ten regular season champs, Wisconsin. That's what ensures you a shot or a chance or automatic, I would think, into the NCAA tournament.
Oh, is that all you need to do?
Yeah, that's all. It's real simple.
Tate, nice pass. Rice was cutting to the basket, and he's fouled. He'll go to the line. That
time, just a little miscommunication on the back line of Michigan.
Ricky Doyle, his second. Well, this is day 2 of the tournament. We saw Penn State and Nebraska in a good one yesterday, and Rutgers a little closer than that final score indicates to Minnesota, but Minnesota got the win and advances. Our next game, Penn State and Iowa on BTN about a half hour after this one comes to a close.
How about that Penn State team? I mean, they just never quit. The true definition of winners in regards to bringing it every single night. They're going to give Iowa, I mean, just like last game when they played them, a tough run for their money.
Anytime you've got a scorer like DJ Newbill, you've got a puncher's chance in almost any game.
Right, because he creates so many opportunities. And you know if the game is close, he's going to have the ball in his hand. And more than likely, he'll make a big play. And you saw it against Minnesota with the big shot, 3-point shot. He's done it time and time again for the Nittany Lions.
A 10-0 run for Illinois has tightened this one up considerably. Michigan was up 14-2 about 6 minutes ago. Now Zach Urban trying to get things back on track for Michigan. 11 to shoot. Abdul-Rahman on the drive against Egwu. And the rebound by LaRon Black, who's been a nice spark off the bench. Ball knocked free, though, and Michigan gets it right back.
Yeah, a little lazy pass. You got to see through your offense and see the defensive player that time. But Rahman that time, excellent job of being sneaky to step in and deflect the pass to get a steal.
Urban pull up on the baseline, pinballing out to Rice. And now Illinois can tie it up or take the lead for the first time if they hit a 3. Rice in the corner.
Trying to get the mismatch inside. Albrecht guarding Black.
Egwu gets it to him. Bielfeldt comes over to double with 7 on the shot clock. Hill for 3 and the lead, and he gives Illinois their first lead of the ball game all the way back from 14-2 down.
Double team comes, you have to recognize that the pass is going to be cross-court. That time, Hill able to step in, contested, but able to knock it in.
Michigan desperate for a bucket over 5 minutes without a point. Albrecht, the 3 ends that drought.
And that was more of a head fake than shoulder fake. Excellent job in use of that. Again, the 3-point shot or the threat of it gives you that, but Jalen Tate has to be more disciplined on his closeouts.
Tate, nice no-look to Black. for the flush. We're tied at 17.
And that time Chapman tried to play peekaboo and thought the ball was going out to the perimeter. Tate able to see through that nice little look away inside.
LeBron Black, 6 points, 3 rebounds in this first half off the bench. Chapman, a little strong. Rice with the board. Rice going end to end. And the rebound to Abdul Rahman. Now he'll push at the free throw line. Got a good look. Black with the rebound. John Beilein can live with that.
Oh, yeah, I love the push. The ball wasn't stopped. You get to the dots and shoot it. Here's the thing about the Illini. Other than the three-point shot, where have they gotten their baskets? They've been inside, so they've used their strength and their height a little bit to get those easy baskets, and that's how it got back in the game. You don't want to fall in love with just perimeter jump shots.
Abdul Rahman with the drive, count the bucket, and the foul, and a timeout on the floor. 7:54 remaining in this first half. Michigan and Illinois in a slugfest, tied at 19. Michigan and Illinois. Let's check out our Reese's perfect combination.
Once you have a double team in the corner here, but now a 2-on-1 on the backside. Put Chapman in a tough situation. You never want to leave the basket, but because you have a three-point shooter, now you advance up. The Black is able just to sneak in the back and get an easy opening. And how about Jalen Tate with the excellent look away inside for an easy dunk. That time it was excellent execution and movement, but also a little peekaboo back there on the backside by Black.
Reese's perfect combination. Tie ball game, 19 apiece, 7:54 remaining in the first. On the layup by Abdul Rahman before the timeout, there was no foul. There was a slap of the backboard. Basket interference was called, but the ball went through anyway, so it didn't matter. Tied at 19.
Points in the paint right now, 12-6 in favor of the Illini.
They've got Egwu down there matched up with Albrecht if they can get it to it.
Well, the premise behind is that Albrecht has speed to cover the corners in this 1-3-1 zone, but again, it causes rebounding issues once the shot goes up.
Starks a little short on that jumper from the elbow, and Michigan will push. Irvin the three. Bielfeldt, offensive rebound. Strong finish by Max Bielfeldt.
And that's why I love that three-point shot when you have numbers in transition, because it's tough and very difficult to get a body on an offensive rebound. A prime example on that play.
Deep two for Hill, a little strong, and Cameron Chapman with the rebound. And the quick three for Michigan is good. Aubrey Dawkins. He is in some kind of groove right now for this Michigan team.
But what happens is Michigan runs to the three-point line. They spread you out. So now, off the dribble, once you commit to help, the spacing is so good that now one pass, usually you wind up with an open look.
Colbert has to back it out to Starks with 12 to shoot. Colbert, the 2-2. And the rebound, Cameron Chapman. Chapman already his third board.
Well, that's what you need. You need Chapman to clean up the boards once Bielfeldt and everyone else blocks out outside. You need someone to step in. Excellent job the last three possessions defensively of getting those rebounds.
Michigan has calmly stretched that lead back out to 5 with 6:03 remaining in this first half. And Irvin with the alley-oop. And Aubrey Dawkins with the finish, and a timeout taken by Illinois.
Well, shoot, almost a young Johnny Dawkins on this play right here. Don't get it twisted. Aubrey Dawkins can just do more than just shooting in the corner, reading the defense that time, exploiting the backside, and highly athletic young player. I'm going to tell you what, the growth, Beilein has to be just full of joy, understanding what he has coming back and the potential of this young player here. A late signee, but Coach Beilein has been able to, kind of find those type of guys.
Nunn inside, a little bit strong. Rebound tipped around, and a foul is going to be called. Now, Aubrey Dawkins is in some kind of rhythm, the reigning Big Ten Freshman of the Week this week, and our Quicken Loans amazing performance was his show that he put on against Rutgers, and it was quite a show.
But one thing you look for, and I think Coach Beeline talked about this, is that he still stay under control, that you don't go shot hunting. So he's doing an excellent job of allowing the offense to kind of dictate some of the shots that he's going to take, instead of, getting into that rhythm where he's trying to force shots, which shows, I think, a great sign of maturity.
Irvin with the pull-up. Moving off into the arms of Ahmad Starks. Starks, problem with the dribble. Look at the dive to grab it by Irvin, and then he lobbed it back to Illinois. Excellent effort. And then Irvin with the rebound off the Hill miss.
That time couldn't convert.
Back out to Dawkins. The three is there again. Aubrey Dawkins. He's got 12. 29-19. Michigan back by 10.
But here's the thing. Dribble penetration. Spike is able to get deep inside the lane, and now Aubrey Dawkins just wheels around and is open for a three.
12-0 run. They can stretch it here. In the corner, Dawkins once more. That will not go. None. With the rebound and the push. Rice, the three. And the rebound, Zach Irvin. Irvin, that's 4 boards. Now the spin. And a big block by Nnanna Egwu. He's the all-time block shot leader at Illinois. He's done that now 200 times in his career.
Well, it's a reason why, because Nnanna Egwu doesn't give up on the play, and a lot of his shots that he blocks comes from weak side help. And it's very easy for a post player not to hustle back down the court. But that's not going to happen with Egwu. He's going to give you everything he has. And again, a prime example of taking away what could have been an easy 2 for Michigan.
Illinois has got to find a little something on the offensive end to go with that shot blocking. They've missed their last 7 shots from the floor. Can they come up with a stop? Albrecht to the rim. And Rice will now push for Illinois. Rice going end-to-end. Rice all the way to the rim for 2.
Well, you talked about finding a way to get an easy basket, and there you have it. Defensive stop. Poor transition that time, defense by Michigan, and the smart thing, Rayvonte Rice, you don't stop me. I'm going to take the easy 2 any day of the week.
Mark Donnell off the bench, the hand to Abdur Rahman. 15 to shoot for Spike Albrecht. Abdur Rahman with 4 on the shot clock, and the rebound, Kendrick Nunn. Jalen Tate now. Rice in the paint. Back out it goes to Black. Black trying to clear some real estate. The second bump got the charge.
Well, you got to be a little bit smarter. Now just got a technical foul. You have to be smarter. You know you have a smaller player. Once you got away with the first bump.
Timeout on the floor. We'll sort out all of the fouls when we return. Michigan 29, Illinois 21. 3:02 remaining in the first half. Kevin Kugler, Jim Jackson, Mike Hall back in Chicago. LeRon Black got a foul and then compounded the problem with a technical.
Well, again, you want to be aggressive. You want to have emotion, but you got away with the first bump, like I said before. And here, it's unnecessary. And this is some of the issues with Black, is that he allows his emotions to take control and take away from what he does well. And again, you want the spirit, you want the fight, but you don't want to give Michigan the fuel or the opportunities that they need to kind of win this game. So you got to be a lot smarter.
Already scored 12 of the last 14 points has Michigan to open up the 8-point lead. Now giving them a couple of extra opportunities at the line before you take the ball out at half court. So Spike Albrecht will shoot the free throws, a 91% free throw shooter.
You didn't jinx him.
No, I did not.
You didn't jinx him.
I know you were waiting there to see if I did, too.
I want to see if you can get the Spike haircut.
There's no chance of that. There's not enough there. So both free throws good. Albrecht's got 5, and Michigan, with a 10-point lead, will inbound.
It's a funny game of runs. Michigan starts out hot. Illinois couldn't find a way. Then Illinois comes back, and now Michigan. And again, the last 3 minutes of the half, you want to finish out your half with momentum. So Michigan looking really good. Illinois going to figure out a way to kind of cut back into this 10-point lead before half.
Irvin trying to find some room on the baseline. Shot clock at 13. Here's Donnell. Found a lot of room on the baseline. 8 to shoot. Deep 3 for Albrecht. Then he splashes it home.
I was just about to say, he still got time on the clock to be patient, but screw it. I mean, here's the ultra-confident Spike Albrecht, and just calmly steps up and knocks down the 25-footer.
Biggest lead of the first half now for Michigan at 13.
Well, you love the fact that they're able to respond to the Illini run, okay? A lot of maturity shown from that aspect from the Wolverine team.
And an offensive foul. Tate with his second. Albrecht taking the contact. And Illinois frustrated on both ends right now.
But doesn't it seem like Spike is always around and involved in the play, whether it was a three-point shot? But here, again, excellent use of his lower body, sliding right in place. And Jalen Tate doesn't agree with it, but again, excellent job of anticipating where Tate was going to be and got there and assumed and took the charge.
Stay tuned. The State Farm halftime report coming up. Dave Revson, Stephen Bardo, Sean Morris will be along with our State Farm halftime report. They'll get you caught up on everything from here at the tournament. Irvin, the no-look inside, and Donnell rolls it up and in.
You got to give credit. Here's the thing. The spacing allows now that pick and roll in the middle. It's tough for you to double team. So if you have correct spacing, as soon as Donnell dives down the center of the lane, if you take Irvin or you take the roll man, that time they get neither, open the basket inside.
19-2 spurt over the last 6 minutes and 6 seconds for Michigan. Hill trying to end that run, and he draws the contact and the foul.
But again, the pick and roll in the middle of the lane now allows it to be open because the communication has to be there between Egwu and also Hill. And when you see it now, that's just wide open. 2 players out, and you don't have the backside of Kendrick Nunn that has to release his man in a corner and pick up Donnell rolling down the lane.
Team foul number 4 on Michigan, so Illinois will inbound. Hill trying for the 3. Donnell the rebound.
And by taking a quick shot, you're feeding right into the hands of Michigan by taking those early shots. And now we have an opportunity again. The middle pick and roll, the lack of communication on the backside is now allowing easier opportunities for Michigan.
How difficult is that for Illinois to correct?
It's not difficult because right here on the backside, and you can't see Rice late, if you're 2 passes away, you have to have a foot closer to the lane anyway. So you're going to read that pick and roll and read the dive man, so you're already in position. But if you stay out and hugged up on the perimeter, you're never going to get there in time. And it's an example of the last 2 plays.
Foul on Rice, his second. Donnell 69% at the line this year. Good on both. A 17-point Michigan lead. Illinois was up 19-17 7 minutes ago. And since that time, Michigan on a 21-2 run.
Well, the Illini began to settle. Their success came from pounding the offensive glass, getting the ball in the paint, not going one-on-one.
Rice for 3. Rebound tipped over to Hill. Malcolm Hill will step through to the rim, and the foul is called, and Malcolm Hill will go to the line.
And he goes to the line, off of an offensive rebound. Again, these are hustle plays, okay? So there's an excellent pass across the court, wide open shot. Okay, you don't make it, but you give yourself a second chance to get to the line or score because of the extra effort on the offensive glass.
Malcolm Hill, the line to shoot 2.
Second foul on Abdur-Rahman. Malcolm Hill, his first free throw attempt of the day. He's got 6. Cameron Chapman back in. Austin Colbert returns for Illinois. Illinois got off to the ice-cold start, then came roaring back, got the lead. Since then, it's been all Michigan. Those 2 free throws notwithstanding to make it 38-23. Chapman back over to Albrecht. Got a 13-second differential between game clock and shot clock.
And I would look for Michigan probably going to attack about right there.
Zach Irvin gets the 2.
I was going to say 8 to 10 seconds, but Zach saw a slither of opportunity, got his shoulders and feet in front of his defender and was able to get it up and in.
Let me try this. Okay. I think Illinois is going to go on the attack right about now.
Quick learner, man.
I learned from the best. Dawkins with the foul. Michigan had a foul to give, and they gave it there with 4.6 seconds remaining in the first half. Our State Farm halftime report is coming up. Obviously, Sean Morris and Stephen Bardo aren't speaking to one another.
No, and Dave is
turned their heads
diligently. It's prepping work. And Steve was like, my line, what the heck is going on with these guys? And Sean is laughing at him like, I told you.
Well, watch the State Farm halftime report anyway, even though Jim pretty much told you what everybody said. Inbound to Egwu. Back it goes to Malcolm Hill. 1 second to go. Hill to the rim. Can't get the roll. And halftime is here. And a half that saw Michigan run Illinois into the locker room. Up 17 at the break. What a finish for Michigan.
But what a finish, but what an outstanding coaching job by John Beilein. Undermanned, undersized, but not under-talented in regards to getting things together for his team.
Mike Hall is standing by with John Beilein.
Yes, I am. Coach, you make a run to start, they make a run to follow. How did you shift the tides back in your favor once they took the lead?
So we just needed to make one or two shots. When they made that run, I thought we had great shots. They didn't go in. They made some really good shots as well. We just needed a couple more to go. I really believe our defense right now is pretty solid. Now we got to do that in the second half.
Thanks a lot, John. All right, our halftime score, Michigan up by 17 points, 40-23 over Illinois. Stay tuned. Dave, Stephen, and Sean are coming up next with the State Farm halftime report right after this.
Move the ball, share the ball, play together more.
Thanks, John.
Thanks.
Kev, back over to you.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. Yeah, they need to revamp a couple of things. Down by 17 as we start off the second half. Zach Irvin with the turnaround at the foul line, and Zach Irvin now has 7.
What, to John Groce's point, check this out. Michigan, 15 baskets off of 9 assists. For the Illini, 9 baskets off of 2 assists. It tells you the ball is hopping, it's moving from Michigan. Hence, you're getting easier shots, you're shooting a higher percentage, and you're more effective and more efficient.
Rayvonte Rice trying to get his offensive game going, just 2 for 7 in the first half for Rice. Egwu with 7 to shoot. Now Nunn with the pull-up. And Dawkins the rebound.
And to the credit of Illinois, I'm going to say this. They've gotten some good shots, but they haven't been able to knock them down. Again, a lot of that has to be with not really being in rhythm and in sync, because those are shots you normally see Kendrick Nunn knock in.
Albrecht trying to take Nnanna Egwu off the dribble. Backs it out to Abdur-Rahman. 13 to shoot. Dawkins. The bounce to Bielfeldt. Backing down, and Bielfeldt had it knocked away by Malcolm Hill.
That's an excellent defense by Hill. Let's see in transition. Can Illinois take advantage of it?
Rice trying to get his way to the rim. The foul first. And Illinois will inbound after the foul on Aubrey Dawkins. Here's our Auto Owners Insurance game leaders. Dawkins with 12 leading the way for all scorers. Abdur-Rahman with 9 and Malcolm Hill with 7 to pace Illinois.
Well, 2 names earlier in the season you didn't even pay attention to. I mean, there were names that were just on the stat sheet, but because of the injuries, but I think also the outstanding coaching job and preparation, they've been able to be effective when their time has been called.
You know, Michigan fans have struggled through an up-and-down season with their team, but boy, next year this team has the potential to be awfully good as Abdur-Rahman puts 2 more on the board.
Well, we always talk about Penn State playing hard despite the fact of what happens, but also this Michigan team with the injuries that have taken place, they've been fighting and been in a lot of games. And To their credit, they haven't hung their head and said, well, our best players are not this, we're not going to show up. That doesn't happen here under Coach Beeline.
Nunn with the little floater with the left hand, and Kendrick Nunn puts 2 on the board for Illinois.
Let's see if the Illini can now get a basket, get a stop, and get back on the offensive end and kind of develop some kind of continuity offensively.
Irvin with the jumper. A little bit off the mark. There's the stop you were talking about for Illinois. Now they need to cash in on this end.
Exploited right now against a non-set defense.
Oh, Hill got right to the rim. Can't believe that he didn't get it to go down.
Back of the rim dunk that time.
The tip by Bielfeldt cleaning up the miss from Abdur-Rahman.
It's something simple. You missed that dunk easy too, but the ball caroms it. Basically goes back towards half court. Numbers Michigan now they're able to convert. So a 4-point swing basically in the favor of the Wolverines.
You played at both levels. Are the rims at the NBA level different than the rims you see at a college level?
No, it's just the ball. The ball is a lot different, and I think that has a lot to do with the game itself.
We saw some long caroms off the glass and off the rim yesterday in the games here in the tournament.
We get the synthetic ball here in college where the ball in the NBA is all level.
Pass and finish. Albrecht to Dawkins. Showtime at the Big Ten tournament. Timeout taken by Illinois. Maybe they just want to watch this one more time. Albrecht dishing to Dawkins. And a big dunk to extend the lead. In the Big Ten tournament, this may be one of them. Our Firestone complete auto care hustle play of the game.
Listen, we may not be in LA, but we got a little showtime going on right here. A la Magic Johnson, former Big Ten player, and Aubrey Dawkins just loving it. And Spike Albrecht like, ooh, it's getting hot in here. I love the enthusiasm that this Michigan team plays with. Okay, it is just phenomenal to see him. And more than anything, when you're playing like this, you're having fun, Kevin. And that's what you see on the faces of the Wolverines. It's more of a grind for the Illini.
Turn around, and that one rolls home for LeRon Black.
Well, you see the impact immediately when he comes in the game. He's a guy that you can get the ball to on the post and trust that he can make a shot for you inside.
8 points, 4 rebounds for LeRon Black. Abdur-Rahman deep in the block. And that's a 3-second violation. So back it goes to Illinois, and a timeout on the floor. 15:59 to go. Michigan in control. Well, this is the stake for Illinois as this game continues. A comeback seems paramount because Jerry Palm's projections have them right there in the last 4 in. A loss here does not help the chances of Illinois making the NCAA tournament. Probably ends it.
Well, not at all. BYU lost to Gonzaga in their conference tournament. I don't know where Tulsa and Temple are at yet. So a lot of things can affect it, but the Illini are not doing themselves a favor by not taking control of this game. But it's not by their fault of their own. It's a really well-played game by Michigan.
Kendrick Nunn able to drive it up and in. And Illinois back within 19. He's got 6.
And you got to get back in this game slow. And the way you do it, Kevin, is you have to get multiple stops on the defensive end. That allows you now to cut into this lead. But if you're going basket for basket, well, you're never going to cut into it and be able to give yourself a chance to win the game.
With 13 to shoot. Abdur-Rahman on the drive. There's a foul going to be called.
And see, just a little something here. Because you're shooting the ball extremely well, Michigan, from the three-point line. The closeouts for the Illini have to be more disciplined. That time, Kendrick Nunn has his right foot dropped, which means he was opening himself to the lane. That was an easy drive by Rahman to get inside. See, that's the little things right now when you're not playing well, that the attention to detail really needs to be spiked up a little bit more.
Second foul on Nunn with Abdul Rahman. Back at the line, he's got both. 50-29. Michigan. 13 now for Abdul Rahman. 15 rather for Abdul Rahman. On the drive, Rice. And a foul is called, so Rayvonte Rice with a chance here. Next Wednesday night, it's the season finale of the Journey, Big Ten Basketball 2015, as they take us behind the scenes throughout the Big Ten tournament. Next Wednesday night, 9 Eastern on BTN. Taking you behind the scenes of the Journey there as they take us behind the scenes.
Is that what it is?
That's what that was right there.
Taking us behind.
We're behind the behind.
Well, speaking of behind the scenes, I want to talk to my fellow Padres, Dave Repson and Steve Bartle and Sean. They wouldn't talk to me. Dave said he's not talking to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
How quickly they forget that you spend so much time with them.
I don't know what it is.
People you're associating with today, obviously it's brought you down a little bit. I apologize.
It's okay, I'm enjoying my company a lot better with you today, Kevin. Than those guys sitting over there acting like they're paying attention to the game.
20-point ball game. Irvin on the drive. Tipped out to Abdul Rahman.
Once you get over the top of the pressure, now, as we saw, it was a 3-on-1, 3-on-2 on the back end. And
Albrecht with the fake, the dish to Irvin for three. Bielfeldt swatting it, keeping it alive, and Abdul Rahman battling with LaRon Black, and that'll be a foul.
How about the job inside by Max Bielfeldt to keep not one, but two possessions alive for the Wolverines? And you see LaRon Black just seems to always be in the middle of some kind of aggressive play, but that was this hustle that resulted into a foul.
Albrecht. Abdul Rahman now for Michigan. Michigan up by 20. We talked about Illinois and their bubble. Michigan's got an NIT possibility out there. Now, this team's been playing since August as Irvin launches and hits the three to make it a 23-point game. They started with a European tour, then started the season, but this does not look like a team that's ready to stop playing despite the injuries and the length of the season.
Yeah, and it's tough because you find yourself getting into a rhythm. So NIT is something that is an option and available. And now it extends a point where you got Rahman, excellent move inside. Think about the development. Rahman, Chapman, Dawkins. Okay, and then
Doyle,
all that experience you gain, and you bring your main two guys back next year, how potent this team will be, along with a few recruits.
Albrecht. Now Chapman inside. A little bit strong of the rebound for Malcolm Hill. You don't see any downside to playing in the NIT if you're Michigan, do you?
Not with this group. Again, the more games you can play, the more confidence, the more consistency, it just pays off for next year's team.
Lob ahead to Irvin. Irvin trying to hit Chapman, who hits the deck hard, and there somehow is Zach Irvin to get the two.
When it's going good, it's going good. Even on that play, you probably should have brought it back out, Zach Irvin, but because things are flowing your way, the ball just comes right back to the passer, and Irvin is able to catch and finish on the opposite side of the rim.
Jalen Tate in all kinds of traffic, a little bit strong. Egwu to tip, and they're going to wave that off. It was in the cylinder. Basket interference, and that is not going to be a bucket for Illinois.
Once again, it's more one-on-one play by the Illini compared to ball movement. And again, Egwu right here doing what he can to get something done.
Irvin with the quick three, and the rebound tipped out to Kendrick Nunn. Hill knifing to the basket. And Abdul Rahman the other way from Michigan. Now he'll push. Great speed into Egwu. Off the window, and the rebound to Kendrick Nunn. A race right now to either end. Barreling in. Hill is called. And a block is called down low on Chapman.
It's almost just like you're trying to squeeze the peel a little bit and get closer and, not as fluid, but Malcolm Hill putting his head down, using that big body in transition to create contact. He's upset with himself in regards to not being able to finish the last 2 baskets, but has an opportunity here to knock in 2.
Hill with 8. Just 2 for 10 from the floor, and Rayvonte Rice back on the bench. Rice 3 for 10. So the big 3 that we talked about at the top of the broadcast, Nunn, Hill, and Rice, all 3 struggling right now from the floor. (55-34). Chapman back out to Albrecht. Michigan content to play a little bit in the half court.
You don't have to force anything. I mean, you've been successful at shifting this Illini defense, being patient. At that time, this excellent defense, a little loss of concentration by Chapman.
A nice play by Jalen Tate. The tie-up gives it back to Illinois. 11:54 remaining in this second half from Chicago, the home of the Big Ten tournament. Michigan making themselves right at home. For Illinois, these big 3 needed to be big today to beat Michigan. They have struggled, as you can tell by the numbers there, Chip Jackson.
And you see the shots, 2 for 10, 3 for 10, 3 for 8, but how many have they been able to get like easy shots, rhythm shots? And you see right here, Rayvonte Rice in the shot chart, 3 inside, the rest kind of scattered across the court. And the key to any kind of rhythm offensively is that you're on the same page. Okay, you got to kind of know where you're getting your shots from, when, and how. And that hasn't seemed to be the case throughout this morning's session with the Illini. On the opposite end, everyone from Michigan understands if you run, you keep the court spread, you're going to get high quality, highly efficient opportunities to knock in shots.
21-point lead for Michigan. They started up in the half court. The 3 for Hill. Off the mark, and Doyle with the rebound.
Again, early in the shot clock, that time the ball, one pass, the shot goes up. And you wonder why you don't have the continuity offensively.
Hand off to Urban. Albrecht wanted it down low. Instead, Urban will drive baseline. The bounce to Chapman. Great ball movement by Michigan. Albrecht fishing to Doyle, and Doyle gets the 2. Well, that's a perfect example on either side for the offense.
Well, prime example. The ball doesn't stick on one side. Okay, it shifts the court. That means it shifts to defense, and the minute you see an opening, the pass is there. And if you don't have the shot, you make another pass to get an easy basket. That's the difference between the 2 teams and the unselfish play of Michigan.
And it was illustrated on each possession for Illinois. They had the quick 3, and then down the floor, Michigan moves it around, finds an easy 2. Now 8 to shoot for Illinois. Nunn around the Colbert screen, lost the ball. It'll go out and stay with Illinois as we check in with Mike Hall.
Guys, as you would imagine, John Groce was very passionate in the huddle there. You can sense he knows that time is running out on his team. He said to the guys, everything that happened bad, technical fouls, turnovers, that's in the past. We can't do anything about it. I need communication. I need effort. I need passion. Bottom line, we got to get stops. We got to get kills.
A 3 for Nunn with the shot clock winding down does not go. And getting kills has become a real challenge for Illinois here on both sides.
Well, sometimes it doesn't come down to X's and O's, Kevin. It just comes down to heart and playing hard. Okay, I don't see that with the body language this session, this game with the Illini. I saw it in spurts, but not consistent.
It's hard to figure, too, because you came into this game with a lot on the line.
A lot. You're talking about playing in March, having your name called on Sunday. I mean, if that doesn't get you motivated as a player at this type of the season, I don't know what will. I don't think whatever Coach Groce says doesn't matter in regards to if you can't get yourself motivated to play and give yourself an opportunity to play in March, throw the game plan out the book.
Halfway home in the second half, and Michigan in complete control right now, up by 23. Nunn. The bounce to Colbert. Colbert, nice dish to Rice, and then a good play inside by Chapman. Foul's going to be called, though. A little nudge toward the baseline, forcing Rice out, and the foul will give Illinois another opportunity.
And nice backdoor look inside. And this is the kind of ball movement we talked about, but that was just excellent recovery on the defensive end by Chapman.
And our Motel 6 sixth man is Cameron Chapman. You see what he did against Rutgers on Saturday. And he's a guy that John Beilein said earlier this week that the game is slowing down and his body is speeding up. It's a pretty good combination.
Well, he's understanding and seeing the gaps and opportunities, what's available on the court. But he's doing an excellent job, too, early in the game, rebounding the ball defensively. I thought that's what really got him active early in this game.
Chapman with Irvin now, 18 on the shot clock. Albrecht. 10 to shoot. Irvin looking inside for Bielfeldt, who's battling with Colbert. Now around the Bielfeldt screen. Irvin against Colbert to the rim, and that long stretch gets the two.
Just a little something on that pick and roll. To take his defender below the screen and now reset it and come off, allowed him to be able to turn the corner.
Hill inside, forcing it up, and he gets the foul.
Just a little something right here as the pick happens. He's going to take Ahmad Starks below this screen, and now the ability to get to the corner or turn the corner is there because the patience is there. Below the screen, now you explode off one-on-one, and the ability to finish by Zach Irvin inside. Excellent use of the pick and roll.
Zach Irvin, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Not a bad line. He's Michigan's opening game.
Kevin, he's taken his game and evolved it so much. Again, we knew he was an outstanding shooter coming in. He improved his ball handling. He improved his rebounding. He improved his decision-making. Now he's not just settling for taking jump shots. He's putting it on the deck. He's using that God-given athletic ability to be a threat going to the basket.
Hamilton Southeastern must have had a pretty good season with he on the team, Gary Harris on the team.
Who do you take away? I mean, from that perspective, and in high school, both can get 30 easy. I mean, you know what I mean? Just.
Now this is the bracket for the day. Our next game coming up after this one, Penn State and Iowa. Northwestern Indiana, Minnesota, Ohio State tonight. And then look at tomorrow night on BTN. You've got Maryland and Michigan State waiting to play those final 2 games, and those could be 2 terrific ball games. Chapman with the lob to Bielfeldt. Bielfeldt gets the bucket and the foul. Max Bielfeldt very patient. Got 2.
But here's the thing. Part of pressure is to keep the ball in front of you. Once you get it over the top, now the advantage goes to Michigan because it's a 3-on-2, 2-on-1, and then it's all about making the right decision. And Chapman that time took the dribble as far as he could, but then made the play, and Bielfeldt, being patient, was now able to get to the line and possibly get a 3-point play.
Bielfeldt has 7. And Michigan's lead 62-38 with 8.5 to play.
You just feel the energy being zapped out of this Illini team. You look across the bench. You look at the body language of the players on the floor. While Michigan is hyped and amped, of course, because they're winning, but it's the way they're playing. And you see the bench right there, the long faces. I mean, not the outcome or the show, and I'm going to say show being the game that they expected to play.
And the inbound comes to Malcolm Hill for Illinois after the Chapman foul. Rice with the dish. Nunn with the 3. Nnanna Egwu, offensive rebound. Jalen Tate trying to find some room. And Tate able to get 2, his first 2 of the ball game. Now numbers again for Michigan. Dawkins to the rim, and Dawkins gets the 2.
Well, it's too easy. Why press if you're going to once again get the ball over the top, and now you put Egwu in a tough situation to have to guard, 2 players coming at him.
Solid, stay in front. Stay in front.
Kendrick Nunn with 18 on the shot clock. Rayvonte Rice, just 3 for 11 today. Rice spinning, got a good look, and can't get the roll, but an offensive rebound for Illinois. Malcolm Hill over Bielfeldt gets the 2.
Malcolm Hill.
Apply that pressure again. Albrecht's got to hurry, gets it to Urban. Michigan has been in control since the 21-2 run late in that first half.
Carolina can never recover, but again, it's been excellent sharing of the basketball, harder effort for Michigan.
The push ahead to Nunn. Nunn to the rim, gets 2. Kendrick Nunn brings Illinois within 20. Albrecht fouled as the trap was set by Rice and Nunn. And Rayvonte Rice unhappy as Michigan celebrates what has been a complete performance today. Michigan up 64-44. It has been a terrific week. It's been crystal clear skies, beautiful weather. Michigan up by 20, 64-44 here in Chicago for the Big Ten tournament at the United Center. And Michigan battling through 2 key injuries throughout the course of the season. When you lose Karis LeVert and Derek Walton Jr., you lose an awful lot.
You lose so much, but it's not just the scoring, it's the presence that you have on the court with these 2 individuals. But I'll tell you this, talking to the coaching staff and players, they've been so integral in the growth of these young players because they consistently stay in there. They're a part of, you know, the everyday activities in regards to the mental aspects that help, you know, a Rockman, a Aubrey Dawkins understand, you know, what it takes to continue to get better. So excellent job by the 2 leaders of the team, even when they're not on the court.
It's forced guys like Spike Albrecht to play a lot of minutes this year as Abdul Rahman gets 2 more. He's got 15.
But who would have thought with Spike coming in, probably at best a 2nd or 3rd backup, but because he prepared himself mentally, he put in the work, and when his number was called, he was ready to play. And now, look at what he's been able to do. Control, you know, with Walton being out, it's just been a phenomenal sight to see this young man's growth.
Nnanna Egwu with a pair. He's got 5. Michigan's lead is 20 with 5:35 to go. Here's Dawkins for 3. Aubrey Dawkins unable to connect on that one. And Rice on the push. Rice in transition to the rim. He's fouled. It'll go an offensive foul. It's on Rayvonte Rice.
Oh.
So an offensive foul on Rice.
Well, that time, good call by the official because Rahman was outside the restricted arc and set his feet. It's, again, still doing the little things, even though you were up, you know, 20 to step in and take the charge. And that, I think that speaks to the character of where this Michigan team is at, because the game may seem like it's over and out of hand, but still doing the little things to ensure victory.
John Beilein's had such great success the last several years with this Michigan team.
Well, it helps when you have about 4 or 5 pros, too. I mean,
not bad. Yeah,
really
that's not bad.
It really does, but I think it speaks volumes to the development aspect of it, too. But, you know, a lot of times you don't get a lot of credit for being an outstanding coach because of the talent. But when you see plays like this and you see this team playing the way they're playing, you have to go back to the coaching. Just patience inside a tight curl by Zach Irving. And that time, Egwu, you can't help off the baseline, but it's so tempting because you know Zach can get in the lane and finish. And then immediately the pass inside to Bielfeldt.
4th foul on LaRon Black. Rayvonte Rice also with 4 as Bielfeldt is into double figures for the 2nd straight game. Jalen Tate inside, floats one up. He's got 4 in the ball game. Zach Irvin now backs it out. Michigan by 21, 4:35 to go. The winner of this game, of course, gets the #1 seed Wisconsin tomorrow morning at the Big Ten tournament. Not exactly an enviable task as Dawkins hits 2 more. He's got 18. 71-48, Wisconsin awaiting the winner of this one. As that jumper falls off, it will not go.
The challenge that you face against Wisconsin, in particular for this Michigan team. Frank Kaminsky, Nigel Hayes inside. Sam Decker on the perimeter. You have 3-point shooters. You have inside out. So imperative, one, you rebound. If you're going to double team, you get back to 3-point shooters. They provide so many problems and matchups Wisconsin does. But you know what? Michigan go come to play.
The one meeting this year, overtime loss in Ann Arbor for Michigan. And a shot clock violation will send us to a timeout. Michigan 71, Illinois 48 with 3:33 to go. The Beans seeing plenty of traffic on a beautiful day in Millennium Park. 3-pointers for Michigan have been a big part of the attack.
Yeah, well, Spike Albrecht right now is only 2 for 3 from behind the arc, but he's also sharing and spreading the wealth. And you see Aubrey Dawkins in place, and also Zach Irvin. And the amazing part about this Michigan performance is they trust each other. And you see the shot chart right here. But this is what this Michigan team does. They live and die by the 3-point shot. And when they're on, you can have a 20-plus point lead. In particular, if you're Illinois, that's not giving that same kind of defensive effort.
4 Wolverines in double figures, led by 18 from Aubrey Dawkins, who averaged 26 points per game in his 2 games last week. So he's actually down from where he was last week. But this freshman Aubrey Dawkins leading the way today for Michigan. Nnanna Egwu back out to Jalen Tate. And a foul's going to be called. Abdur Rahman picks up the personal. Stick around. The game break presented by Quicken Loans is coming up next. In between this game and our Iowa-Penn State game, the gang will look back on this one and look ahead to the Hawkeyes and the Nittany Lions.
I want to touch on something with Aubrey Dawkins, which is really critical, I think, too, when you look at players who develop in a system and some players who may be talented that don't. The system has a lot to do with the performance and effectiveness of a player. With this system that's in place, it fits perfectly for the skill set that Aubrey Dawkins has. He's a shooter. He likes to get out in transition. You have players that keep the court spread. So for him to develop when you didn't really know who he was, it's not surprising because the system fits his game perfectly, along with the coaching staff.
There's a 5-second count. Illinois forcing the turnover on the inbound. 3:04 to go. John Groce trying to coax a miracle out of his team late.
Yeah, but where was that defensive effort earlier when you needed it? In the meat of this game before it got out of control, I thought they really turned the corner early on when we saw that run in the first half. You see Tate getting to the line, but then that energy was only there for a 4 or 5 minute spurt. And they couldn't contain, they couldn't keep it going.
Illinois grabbed a 19-17 lead with 8:12 remaining in the first half. They led for all of 48 seconds. And then Michigan went on a 21-2 run and never looked back. Michigan's led by as much as 24 in this ballgame. Michigan more than happy to use a lot of shot clock here. Irvin blocked and plucked by Rice. Rayvonte Rice with his team down 18. Back out to Jalen Tate now. Nunn, the contested 3, and the rebound to Irvin. Michigan matching up with Wisconsin, assuming they hang on over the final 153. And Illinois going into a very uncertain stretch of time before
there'll be a lot of tension. There'll be a lot of tension come Sunday in regards to what happens And this loss definitely will have an impact, and it hurts the Illini's chances.
The new shot clock for Michigan after the turnover. Albrecht will throw it out, throw it away. Rayvonte Rice with the steal. Rice to the other end with 2. He's now into double figures with 10.
Zach Irvin hustled back, but smartly retreated at the end. No need to take an unnecessary foul and give Rice an opportunity for a three-point play.
Timeout taken by Michigan, 71-55 with 1:10 to go in Chicago. The resume for Illinois that they will present to the committee is going to have an extra loss on there, 19-13 with their loss today to Michigan. And is it a resume that's enough to get in at the very end of the selection process?
Well, here's the thing, RPI versus top 50, 3 of 6. That's 50% under 500. Some quality wins, but again, we hate to say it, end of the year, this has an impact. This kind of game here, a game you should win on paper, you think, but you don't.
Now, it won't go down as the so-called bad loss because the Michigan RPI is high enough at 85 that it's not going to go into that 100
but it's a
line.
bad loss today being what's on the line. You understand? This is a game you have to win if you were the Illini.
Andrew Dockich off the bench, able to grab 2 and a substitution timeout for John Groce as he's going to bring his bench onto the floor. Andrew Dockich had only scored 3 points all year long. Comes into the tournament and grabs a pair here towards the end. And Illinois clearing out the bench. Ryan Schmidt on the floor. Mike Latulip out there as well. Colbert returns to the lineup for Illinois. Sean Lonergan on the floor now for Michigan. And Illinois and Michigan will play this one out. Michigan and Wisconsin matching up to start the day tomorrow. And the interception from Abdur Rahman. 24 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Mentioned earlier, Michigan and Wisconsin, one time they met this year. It was in Ann Arbor, and it went to overtime before Wisconsin got the win. Can Michigan push the Badgers again when they meet tomorrow?
If they can knock down shots early, that will play in the favor of Michigan. But again, you have to figure out how to play against a bigger interior lineup of Wisconsin.
Shot did not get off. It is a shot clock violation with half a tenth, or with 5/10 of a second left, rather. So Illinois will inbound, and this one will come to a close. 73-55. Michigan dominates the 8th seed Illinois. And Michigan advances to take on Wisconsin, and Illinois advances to an uncertain future.
Well, for Michigan, you played a season out, young development, young players. They had something in mind that they wanted to play for and accomplish, which is continue to advance in the Big Ten tournament. The Illini, again, you're playing for a chance to play in March, later in March, and you didn't come out with the energy and effort. So you see the updated bracket. What I'm interested in is the bottom part of this. Ohio State, Michigan State, Indiana. Teams that are generally make runs in the tournament have an opportunity. Again, the Minnesota game is going to be tough in Northwestern Indiana, but if they can slide over that Michigan State, Ohio State, maybe, Maryland, I mean, very interesting at the bottom of that bracket.
Yeah, tomorrow night on BTN with Maryland and Michigan State closing things out on the network. A couple of very interesting matchups indeed.
That's right.
Really interesting games. Let's check in. Mike Hall standing by with John Beilein.
Yes, I am. Congrats on the win there, Coach. This is a game Illinois needed, and yet your defense held them 14 points under what they averaged. What'd your D do so well?
You know, we've been growing in that area. If you look at our stats, we don't have very good defensive stats, but we've been growing every day. And you know, it's just a couple of possessions a half, maybe 2 a half, and we're just a much better team. And I think we showed that today. We had some really good defensive possessions where we communicated better. So that was the difference.
We talked about Aubrey Dawkins before the game. He's still doing it, John. What's he doing so well?
Well, he plays with a lot of confidence. His defense is improving like crazy, and he's just seeing the game. It's slowed down for him.
What's your message to your team with the top-seeded Badgers up next?
They're a tremendous team, and I think, you know, Bo has been in this tournament, and he's won the league championship, and it's always tough. We have nothing to lose right now. We just got to go, and we had that approach today right now. Go play your best.
1 down, 3 to go, right?
All right, thank you.
Thanks, John. All right, that's a wrap for Game 3 from the 2015 men's tournament from Chicago. Michigan wins 73-55 over Illinois. For Jim Jackson and Kevin Kugler, I'm Mike Hall. About 25 minutes away from Penn State and Iowa here on BTN. We're going to send you over to Dave, Steven, and Sean with a Big Ten game break right after this.
A thumping by Michigan as they pummeled Illinois, winning it by 18 points. Aubrey Dawkins, a huge part of that. He joins us now. And Aubrey, first of all, congratulations. Third straight, really impressive outing for you personally. But let's talk about your team first. It seems like, despite the fact that I think an outsider might say you don't have a whole lot to play for, this team isn't looking at it that way. Give us a sense of the mentality coming into this game.
We're just coming in every game with confidence and trying to win every game. Not looking too far in the future, but staying focused on the game ahead of us and trying to win.
So what did you see, Aubrey? What did you and your teammates see schematically that allowed you to take advantage? You all hit Illinois from the perimeter early, and then you got to the rim in the second half. What did you guys see what you were able to take advantage of?
Well, we shot the ball really well from the 3 in the first half, and that allowed us to get to the basket in the second half because they came out and knocked shots. So we got drives to the basket and finish when we could.
You and Muhammad Ali, Abdur Rahman, a couple of younger players really producing down the stretch here for Michigan. But talk about what Zach Irvin and Spike Albrecht have given you as a younger player, not just in terms of setting you up to score, but maybe some of the off-the-court things.
It's leadership, so much leadership helping us in practice, from offensive schemes to defensive schemes, just helping us be confident out there and be comfortable.
Aubrey, you guys have Wisconsin, the top seed tomorrow. Look, it's been done. I mean, there's a team that's won 4 games in 4 days and won this tournament. Iowa did it a number of years ago. What's it going to take for you guys to get that second win and beat a team that you went to overtime against?
The same confidence we played with against Northwestern and Rutgers, and today is what's going to take. The same confidence, same, aggressiveness and intensity we brought today. We're going to need tomorrow to get the win.
Aubrey Dawkins, 80 points, guys, over the last 3 games. He had set 2 straight career highs. You set the bar too high for your 3rd straight career high. You would have really needed to have a crazy game for that one, but congratulations on the way you're playing down the stretch, and congratulations to the Wolverines.
Thank you so much.
So Aubrey Dawkins and Michigan, they move on. They will take on Wisconsin tomorrow here, the 1 seed in the Big Ten tournament. We are getting you ready now for Iowa and Penn State coming up. The ball game that just happened here at the United Center. Again, it was a huge game for the Fighting Illini. Likely needed this one and one more in order to make it to the NCAA tournament, but it was Michigan who came out playing with the sense of desperation, certainly more intensely. Muhammad Ali, Abdur Rahman, part of a 12-0 run. Illinois coming back. Laron Black, it seemed like they had stemmed the tide a little bit, actually took the lead for a little less than a minute, 48 seconds. It was a 17-3 run, but then Michigan taking over. The guy we were just chatting with, Aubrey Dawkins, Johnny Dawkins' kid on the receiving end of the alley-oop from Zach Irvin, part of a 12-0 Wolverines run. And how about Spike Albrecht? Cool, calm, and collected. Albrecht nailing the 3, 1 of 2 for him. Michigan led it by 17 at the half. They pour it on in the second. Great feed from Albrecht to Dawkins. And then it is Zach Irvin. Great pass there from Albrecht. And Irvin finishing things off. 14 points for him as he drills the 3 ball. Also had 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Michigan wins, and wins convincingly. 73-55 as you see Karis LeVert, the injured Wolverine, congratulating his teammates. An 18-point win, just their 3rd in their last 10, but their 2nd straight as John Beilein improves to 8-0 all-time in Big Ten tourney openers. It's the 9th straight year the Wolverines have won at least 1 game, the longest active streak. And Sean, kind of no secret as to how they're going to approach things. And Stephen, you were just alluding to this. I mean, they're a 3-point shooting team. There's no team in America outside of one in a power conference that gets more points from beyond the three-point arc as a percentage of its offense than Michigan. And yet it seemed like Illinois was powerless to stop it.
Yeah, Illinois just didn't do a very good job of running Michigan off that three-point line. And you talked about the three-point marksmanship of Michigan. That's one thing that Zach Irvin does really well. But he's also added a number of other things to his game, guys. He set the tone early. Dave, you and I were talking about how well they shared the ball. Of his 6 assists, 5 came in the first half, and that set the tone. And his game has continued to evolve. A year ago, mainly a catch and release guy from three-point range. Out of necessity, he has developed an off-the-dribble game, which is very impressive, also contributing with 6 rebounds today.
I love the way he played. And then what happened, we saw guys, when they were able to establish the 3 early, they were 6 of 10 for 3. Then the lane opens up because Illinois is scrambling, trying to close out on shooters. They're able to get to the rim, attack the paint area, and they put on an offensive clinic. And you said, Dave, you think that Beilein's one of the best offensive coaches in the game. I think he's the best coach in all of college basketball. And we saw it today in the way that the scheme really put Michigan in a position to have success.
The 3rd largest margin of victory ever in the Big Ten tournament. So a big win for Michigan, but it may be the death knell, frankly, guys, for Illinois' NCAA tournament chances. We take a look at the Illini resume, and you know, they'd like to have some better references, I think, at the bottom of it, frankly. It's not a strong resume. We have to be honest.
Oh, no doubt about
like it is. They needed to win this game.
Well, and see, Dave, what the problem is that when you're trying to coach young players, you have to understand that the games in November and December that you let slip away, those come back to haunt you at this time. And so it's pretty obvious the Illini are waiting for a lot of help around the country.
2 big wins. I mean, they've shown they can beat some elite teams. They beat Maryland, they've beaten Baylor, but I think all of our sense coming into this was they didn't just need to win 1. They need to win 1 to be in the conversation and needed to win 2 to really feel good about it. They end up winning none, and so they will be sweating it out mightily on Selection Sunday. Does not look good for the Fighting Illini. We are getting you ready for Iowa and Penn State.
Instead of moving the ball around.
Good play by Starks to throw off the Albrecht drive. .15 to shoot for Michigan. Nunn right on top of Dawkins there. 7 on the shot clock for Irvin. Abdul-Rahman around the Bielfeldt screen with the 2.
Kevin, I love the patience that time by Michigan. A lot of times you want to rush at the end of the shot clock, and I thought Rahman did an outstanding job of using the pick and getting to a spot to get a shot.
From the elbow, Hill's jumper won't go, and a rebound for Irvin. Good start now for Michigan on a 7-0 run. And that's a foul on Rayvonte Rice and a timeout on the floor. Michigan scoring from all over the floor with a lot of different folks, including Muhammad Ali Abdul-Rahman with the deep 2 to give the Wolverines the 7-point lead. Welcome in the 3rd member of our crew, the always affable Mike Hall.
That's debatable. Kev, you mentioned at the top of the broadcast the fact this is a Michigan team that's been fighting injuries. Karis LeVert, this is the 13th game he's not playing. For Derek Walton, it's his 11th. Now, we know LeVert is done for the year, but Walton, there's still a possibility that he could play. But I talked to John Beilein before the game. He said, don't expect it. The soreness is just too much. That being said, he was warming up. It's just not likely we're going to see him today.
Exactly right. And I spoke with Derek Walton before the game, and he just gave me that look like it's still a little bit of pain there. And you got to think about the future in regards to not just now, but ensuring that that injury heals correctly.
And it's not an injury that's going to require anything other than rest to get better. It's basically put your feet up and watch the NCAA tournament. There's not a bad prescription to get if you can get that from your doctor. Irvin Rotates around. Abdul-Rahman for three, and Michigan red hot after a cold start. They've hit 5 of 8 from the floor.
Well, by placing Zach Irvin in the post, now you have a legitimate threat to score. So you give a little bit of help, and now the release, the ball moving around the perimeter opens up the jump shot for Rahman. Excellent offense and patience that time by the Wolverines.
Floater missing everything. The rebound for Michigan.
And you just don't see a rhythm right now with the Illini on offensive end. And opposite right here with Michigan, everything is just free-flowing.
A timeout taken by Illinois. A 12-0 Michigan run. They've opened up a 14-2 lead.
The Motors Insurance Group protects what you love and provides security when you need it most. Motors Group of companies and independent agents in Big Ten country offer quality products backed by unparalleled claim service to protect your home, autos, business, and life. And because they have policyholders and not shareholders, serving your best interest is their only focus. This is Jim Jackson. Defend your peace of mind with a championship team. The Motors Insurance Group. You know us. Member of the National Association of Mutual Insurance Companies.
Michigan 14, Illinois 2. Muhammad Ali Abdul-Rahman averaging just 6 points per game in the conference season, but not a bad start today.
Well, he's shown flashes that he can score the basketball. Right here, just patience and spacing and confidence to shoot the ball, but also the ability for him to seek out openings and gaps and get to the basket and then finish through contact. Again, this Michigan team, because there's no pressure in regards to NCAA implications, just seems to be playing more fluid, more loose, and as a result, they're up 14-2.
Jalen Tate on the floor now for Illinois, along with LeRon Black. The three for Kendrick Nunn. Black with the offensive rebound and the putback. That's what he does, cleans the glass.
And that's the kind of energy and effort you need right now. When you're struggling to get some points, now you need a guy that's going to come in and get you those hustle baskets. And Black, right on time, impacts the layup backdoor. And that's, you know, one of the advantages when you shoot a lot of three-point shots. That backdoor opportunity is there. But again, a lot is on the line. We talked about it, Kevin, for both teams. And for the Illini being kind of on the bubble, it's a little bit more pressure because you play to say, hey, listen, you want to get back in the NCAA tournament.
Rice driving to the rim, and he gets it to go.
Such a strong body. You know, Spike Alberg, I love him to death, but right there, just a mismatch and no help came. And that's the beauty of having Rayvonte Rice, because he's a guy that can really break down your defense and finish inside.
Foul away from the ball. Nnanna Egwu getting tangled up.
Well, again,
Hill with the foul.
What back to, but look at Nnanna Egwu. His arms are down by his waist, so now even if when Dawkins is open, you have to put pressure on the passer and help your teammate out. That time, excellent play by Michigan, but not really good defense by the Illini.
Abdul-Rahman. Dawkins coming off a huge game against Rutgers. 31 points for the freshman. The three for Irvin is good, and Zach Irvin gives Michigan the early lead.
And I love how he squared up and looked at Egwu's feet, knowing that he gave him enough space to pull up for the jump shot.
Double dribble, and the turnover back to Michigan. First turnover for Illinois. They're trying to bounce back from that difficult loss to Purdue. Had a 13-point lead in that game, and wants to go away.
On the road, you had control of the game, but couldn't stop the run by the Boilermakers. It is disappointing.
Back out to Dawkins, had a toe on the line. It's a 2, and Aubrey Dawkins with a 7-2 start for Michigan.
It's amazing as a player when the light just clicks, Kevin. You don't know when it's going to come and when it's going to happen. We saw some flashes from Aubrey, but being able to back-to-back games in your career high, the confidence that he has and his teammates has is just exciting to watch.
Kendrick Nunn through the contact from Irvin, and Bielfeldt the rebound.
Now, what you see from Illinois early on, a lot more one-on-one.
For this one, Nnanna Egwu and Max Bielfeldt ready to jump it up. Day 2 of the Big Ten men's basketball tournament about to get underway here in Chicago. We're thrilled to have you alongside on BTN. And Illinois is going to control the tip, and Ahmad Starks, almost 10 points per game over the last 9 games. Kevin Kugler, Jim Jackson. We'll hear from Mike Hall coming up in just a little bit. He'll join us throughout the show from Chicago today.
Kevin, you were talking about Ahmad Starks. It's not just his shooting, but also his decision-making, running the team has also improved.
Rayvonte Rice. That won't go. Bielfeldt with the rebound.
But that's the kind of ball movement early on that I think bodes well for the Illini. Good shot in the corner for Starks.
Good movement inside and a blocked shot as Bielfeldt had a good look, but Illinois rejects. And now Rayvonte Rice, the quick three. And the air ball out of bounds off Michigan. It'll stay with Illinois.
Well, the reaction right here by Kendrick Nunn is exceptional, but Bielfeldt has to be able to gather a lot quicker and get up a lot faster because these guards for the Illini will react quickly, as we just saw.
Rice into the paint. Jumpers out of the way, but he could not get the shot to fall, and Zach Irvin will push for Michigan. Aubrey Dawkins with the three, and Rice the rebound.
Premium from the Illini to get back in transition. As you see, Michigan loves to exploit a three-point shot early in their offensive sets.
Nnanna Egwu trying to back Bielfeldt down. Left the hook well short. Dawkins the rebound. Both teams struggling early to find a rhythm. Michigan 0 for 3, Illinois 0 for 4.
Boy, sometimes the early games kind of throw you off a little bit. The rhythm offensively, the sweat is not there yet, but give them a minute. I'm sure they'll find their rhythm.
How much do the stakes in this game involve in being tight early? Both teams know that they need a win to continue their postseason berth where they want it to go, as Aubrey Dawkins gets the two.
Well, that helps when you get a
Day 2 of the Big Ten men's basketball tournament on BTN. Great start to our day with a matchup between Michigan and Illinois. Both teams need this win for different reasons, and we'll get into that as we move on through the broadcast. Our Buffalo Wild Wings starting lineup for Michigan. We talked about Irvin. We talked about Dawkins. How about Max Bielfeldt making his second start?
Well, here's the thing. It opens up a lot inside for Max Bielfeldt to be effective when you're knocking down jump shots, and he's doing a really good job of rebounding ball also.
Meanwhile, on the Fighting Illini side, trying to win their way for sure into an NCAA tournament, their Buffalo Wild Wings starting lineup. Ahmad Starks starting and has been playing well.
He's been playing well, again, knocking down jump shots. That was the key for Ahmad coming into the season. As of late, really confident from behind the three-point line.
Well, Jim, what's our principal financial group edge to the game?
Well, for Michigan, you know, it's all about knocking down shots. And you see this 58% in the first half of field goals because I think it takes the pressure off of trying to figure out how to score. And the Illini, it's getting Hill, Malcolm Hill, and Kendrick Nunn back on track. These young men provided the spark when Rayvonte Rice was out. And Kevin, it's always difficult to reinsert a player of the stature of Rayvonte Rice who needs the ball in his hands.
And Rayvonte Rice has been getting better and better and better over the last 4 games. Meanwhile, those guys have struggled a little bit in that same time span. Always fiery John Groce, the head coach of the Illinois Fighting Illini in his 3rd season. He knows what's at stake for his team in this game, and his kids ready to go out and put on a good show for us here today at the United Center. Meanwhile, for the Michigan Wolverines, they're trying to lock up what they hope will be an NIT bid. With a win today, they'd certainly take a step in that direction. And John Beilein already with the jacket off. It's getting serious now on the sidelines for the head coach of Michigan.
Well, both teams have a lot to play for. Illinois, it's a tough situation in regards to where they're at. You have to play a tough Michigan team. Maybe face a Wisconsin team, but is an opportunity that if you can do that, you can stamp your own ticket to the NCAA tournament.
Good officiating crew on hand.